Have you ever walked away from someone and wondered what goes through their mind? It's a powerful moment, isn't it? 1 second you're there, and the next, you're gone. But here's the thing. That simple act of walking away can spark something huge. It can trigger a realization so big, so earth-shaking, that it changes everything. Today, we're diving deep into what happens in that moment, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind. Picture this. You're having a normal day, maybe even a tough one. You're with someone, could be a friend, a partner, or even a family member. Things aren't going great. Maybe you've had an argument, or you're just feeling unappreciated. So you decide to leave. You turn around, take a step, and walk away. It feels final, doesn't it? Like you're closing a door. But what you don't know is that you've just opened a whole new world for the person you left behind. Now you might be thinking, how can me walking away be such a big deal? Well, that's the magic of it. Sometimes it's not until something is gone that we truly understand its value. When you walk away, you create a space. And in that space, something incredible happens. It's like you've planted a seed without even knowing it. A seed of realization that's about to grow into something life-changing. Let's talk about what happens next. It's not what you'd expect. Most people think that when you walk away, the other person just feels sad or angry. But there's so much more to it. It's like you've caused a shake-up in their world. Imagine you're holding a snow globe, and suddenly you give it a good shake. Everything that was settled gets stirred up. That's exactly what happens in the mind and heart of the person you walked away from. This shake-up isn't just about feelings. It's deeper than that. It's about seeing things clearly for the first time. You know how sometimes you can look at something every day and not really see it? That's what happens with people too. We get so used to having someone around that we forget to really see them. But when you walk away, it's like you've cleared the fog. Suddenly, everything comes into focus. And here's the kicker. This shake-up doesn't just last for a moment. It's not like a quick tremor that's over in a second. No, this is more like an earthquake that keeps sending aftershocks. Every time the person thinks about you, every time they reach for their phone to text you and remember you're not there, every time they go to your favorite coffee shop and you're not sitting across from them, it's another little shake. And each shake brings more clarity. Now let's get to the good stuff. This shake-up, this moment of you walking away, it's not the end. Nope, it's just the beginning. It's like the first domino in a long line. Once it falls, everything else starts moving too. And what happens next is something so amazing, so powerful, that it can change a person's entire life. When you walk away, you create a gap. It's like there's suddenly an empty space where you used to be. And nature, well, it doesn't like empty spaces, so something has to fill that gap. And what fills it? Realizations. Big, world-changing realizations. The kind that hit you like a ton of bricks and leave you seeing stars. These realizations don't come all at once. They're sneaky. They creep up slowly. At first, the person might not even notice them. They might be too busy feeling hurt or angry that you left. But then, bit by bit, these realizations start to take shape. It's like putting together a puzzle. At first, you just have a bunch of random pieces. But as you start connecting them, a picture begins to form. And what's the picture that's forming? It's a picture of you. But not just any picture. It's a picture of you in a way they've never seen before. It's like they're seeing you for the first time, really seeing you. And what they see is something amazing. They see someone irreplaceable. Now let's break down what happens in the mind of the person you walked away from. At first, there's shock. It's like their brain can't quite process what's happened. They might think, did that really just happen? Did they really leave? This shock is important because it shakes them out of their normal way of thinking. It's like hitting the reset button on their brain. After the shock comes denial. This is when they might tell themselves, it's no big deal. They'll be back. Everything will go back to normal. But deep down, they know something has changed. And this is where the magic starts to happen. Because in trying to convince themselves that everything is fine, they start to realize just how not fine everything is without you. Then comes the flood of memories. Every moment spent with you starts replaying in their mind. But here's the interesting part. They're not just remembering the big moments, they're remembering the little things too. The way you laugh at their jokes, the coffee you bring them when they're having a rough day, the way you remember their favorite song. All these little things that they might have taken for granted before suddenly become incredibly important. As they're going through these memories, something starts to shift. They start to see patterns they never noticed before. They realize how many times you were there for them, how often you put their needs first, how you always seem to know just what to say or do to make things better. It's like they're watching a movie of your relationship, but now they're seeing it with new eyes. And that's when it hits them, the big realization, the epiphany that changes everything. They realize that you're not just another person in their life, you're irreplaceable. There's no one else in the world quite like you. No one who fits into their life in quite the same way. No one who understands them, supports them, challenges them, and loves them quite like you do. This realization doesn't come gently. It's not a soft, oh, that's nice kind of thought. No, it hits them like a truck. It's a, oh my God, what have I done? Moment. It's the kind of realization that makes them sit up in bed at 3 a.m., wide awake, mind racing, because suddenly they understand what they've lost. And more importantly, they understand what they had all along, but never fully appreciated. Now, you might be thinking, but why does it take someone walking away for this to happen? And that's a great question. The truth is, we humans are creatures of habit. We get comfortable. We start taking things for granted. It's not because we're bad people. It's just human nature. We don't always appreciate what we have until it's gone. But when you walk away, you disrupt that comfort. You shake things up. And in doing so, you force the other person to really look at their life and see what's missing. It's like when you lose your keys. Suddenly, you're acutely aware of how important those keys are and how often you use them. Walking away is like that, but on a much bigger scale. And here's something really important to understand. This realization isn't just about missing you. It's deeper than that. It's about understanding your true value. It's about seeing all the unique qualities that make you, you. The way you light up a room with your smile, the way you always know just what to say to make someone feel better. The way you pursue your passions with unwavering dedication. All these things that make you irreplaceable. This realization changes everything. It's like putting on glasses for the first time and seeing the world in high definition. Suddenly, everything is clearer. They see how much you've impacted their life. They understand how much better their world is with you in it. And they realize, with startling clarity, that there's no replacing you. But it's not just about you. This realization also makes them look at themselves differently. They start to question why they didn't see your value before. They begin to understand their own patterns and behaviors that might have led to taking you for granted. It's like holding up a mirror and really seeing themselves for the first time. And that's where the growth begins. Because once they've had this realization, they can't go back. They can't unsee what they've seen. It's like waking up from a long sleep. Everything looks different in the light of day. And with this new understanding comes a desire to change, to be better, to never make the mistake of undervaluing someone so precious again. Now let's talk about the emotions that come with this realization, because believe me, it's an emotional roller coaster. First, there's regret, deep, gut-wrenching regret, the kind that makes you want to turn back time and do everything differently. They might find themselves thinking, how could I have been so blind? How did I not see what was right in front of me? Then comes the fear. Fear that it might be too late. Fear that you might not come back. Fear that they've lost something irreplaceable forever. This fear can be paralyzing. It's the kind of fear that keeps you up at night, that makes your heart race every time your phone buzzes, hoping it might be you. But mixed in with the regret and fear is something else. Gratitude. Profound, overwhelming gratitude. Because even though you're not there right now, they're grateful for every moment they had with you. They're grateful for all the ways you've enriched their life, all the ways you've helped them grow, all the love and support you've given them. And they're grateful for this wake-up call, as painful as it might be. And then, slowly but surely, hope starts to creep in. Hope that maybe it's not too late. Hope that they can make things right. Hope that they can become the kind of person who deserves someone as irreplaceable as you. This hope is powerful. It's the spark that can ignite real change. But here's the thing. Whether you come back or not, this realization has already changed them forever. They'll never look at relationships the same way again. They'll never take someone's presence in their life for granted, because now they know, truly know, how rare and precious it is to have someone irreplaceable in your life. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, first of all, it's a reminder of just how valuable you are. You're not just another person. You're irreplaceable. You have qualities, traits, and gifts that no one else in the world has in quite the same way. Never forget that. But it's also a reminder of the power of absence. Sometimes, stepping away can be the most powerful thing you can do. Not as a manipulation tactic, but as a way of creating space for growth and realization. Sometimes people need to experience life without you to truly understand life with you. And here's a beautiful truth. This realization doesn't just happen to the other person. It can happen to you too. Maybe you're the one who's been left behind. Maybe you're the one experiencing this epiphany right now. If that's the case, embrace it. Let it teach you. Let it show you the value of the people in your life and the importance of showing them that value every day. Remember, every person in your life is potentially irreplaceable. They each bring something unique, something special. Don't wait for them to walk away to realize it. Look around you right now. Who are the irreplaceable people in your life? How can you show them their value today? This realization, this epiphany, it's not just about one person. It's about all of us. It's about understanding the incredible, irreplaceable value that each of us brings to the world. It's about seeing people, really seeing them for all that they are. And it's about never, ever taking that for granted. So the next time you think about walking away, or the next time someone walks away from you, remember this. Remember the power of that moment. Remember the realizations it can bring. And remember that in the end, it's not about walking away or coming back. It's about recognizing the irreplaceable value in ourselves and in others. Because when we do that, when we truly see and appreciate the unique gifts that each person brings to our lives, that's when we create relationships that can withstand any challenge. That's when we create connections that are truly unbreakable. And isn't that what we all want? To be seen, to be valued, to be understood as the irreplaceable individuals we are? To know that our presence in someone's life makes a difference? That's the power of this realization. That's the gift that comes from understanding true irreplaceability. So let this sink in. Let it change the way you see yourself and others. Because you, yes, you are irreplaceable. And so is every person in your life. Never forget that. Never take it for granted. And watch how this understanding transforms your world. Now let's dive into the heart of what happens when that person is left alone with their thoughts. It's like a spark in the darkness, a sudden flash of understanding that lights up their whole world. This spark of realization doesn't come quietly or gently. No, it hits them like a bolt of lightning, sudden and powerful. Imagine you're sitting in a dark room and suddenly someone flips on the lights. That's what this realization feels like. Everything that was hidden in the shadows is suddenly clear as day. All the little things they never noticed about you, all the ways you made their life better, all the unique qualities that make you who you are, it all comes into focus at once. This realization often starts with a simple thought. Maybe they reach for their phone to text you about something funny that happened, only to remember you're not there. Or perhaps they walk past your favorite coffee shop and feel a pang in their heart. These small moments are like cracks in a dam. At first, it's just a trickle of understanding. But soon those cracks grow wider, and the full force of the realization comes flooding through. And what exactly are they realizing? They're seeing, truly seeing, for the first time, just how irreplaceable you are. It's like they've been looking at a puzzle all this time, but they were so close to it that they couldn't see the full picture. Now, stepping back, they can finally see the whole image, and it's breathtaking. They start to understand that you're not just another person in their life. You're not interchangeable or replaceable. You're unique, one of a kind, irreplaceable. Every quirk, every habit, every little thing that makes you you suddenly becomes precious. That weird laugh they used to tease you about? Now they'd give anything to hear it again. The way you always leave your shoes in the middle of the room? Now the empty space where those shoes should be feels like a hole in their heart. This realization doesn't just happen in their head, It's a full-body experience. Their heart races, their palms sweat, their stomach does flip-flops. It's like their whole body is trying to tell them, "Wake up! Don't you see what you've lost?" And boy, do they see it now. But here's the thing about this spark of realization. It's not just about you. It's also about them. They start to see themselves differently, too. They begin to understand how they've been taking things for granted, how they've been sleepwalking through parts of their life. This realization is like a mirror, showing them not just what they've lost, but also who they've been. And that's where the real growth begins. Because once you see yourself clearly, once you understand your own patterns and behaviors, you have the power to change them. This spark of realization isn't just about missing you. It's the beginning of a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. As this realization deepens, the person left behind starts to truly understand your value. It's like they're seeing you with new eyes, appreciating all the things that make you uniquely you. They begin to understand that you're not just a collection of traits or habits, but a one-of-a-kind individual who brings something special to the world. Think about a diamond for a moment. From far away, it might just look like a shiny rock. But when you look closely, you see all the facets, all the ways it catches and reflects light. That's what's happening now. They're seeing all your facets, all the ways you shine. They start to remember all the times you were there for them, the time you stayed up all night to help them finish a project, the way you always remember their coffee order, the sound of your laugh when they tell a bad joke. All these little things that they might have taken for granted before suddenly become incredibly precious. But it's not just about the good times. They also start to appreciate how you've helped them grow. Maybe you challenged them to be better, to reach for their dreams. Maybe you supported them through tough times, offering a shoulder to cry on or words of encouragement when they needed them most. They begin to see how you've shaped their life in ways they never fully realized before. And here's the kicker. They start to understand that these things aren't replaceable. They can't just find another person who fits into their life in exactly the same way. Sure, they might meet other people, make new friends, even start new relationships, but none of those people will be you. None of them will have your unique combination of qualities, your specific way of understanding and supporting them. This understanding of your true value goes beyond just missing you. It's a deep, profound appreciation for who you are as a person. They start to see how your presence in their life has made them better, has helped them grow, has brought joy and meaning to their days. And with this understanding comes a wave of emotions: gratitude for all you've been to them, regret for not appreciating you more when you were there, fear that they might have lost something irreplaceable forever, hope that maybe, just maybe, they can make things right. But most of all, there's a new resolve, a determination to never again take someone's value for granted, to appreciate the unique, irreplaceable qualities of the people in their life. Because now they understand, truly understand, just how rare and precious it is to have someone like you in their life. Now, let's talk about how this realization becomes more than just a personal epiphany. It becomes a spiritual awakening. This might sound big and scary, but really it's beautiful. It's like waking up from a long sleep and seeing the world in color for the first time. When we talk about a spiritual awakening, we're not necessarily talking about religion. We're talking about a deep, inner understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. And that's exactly what's happening here. The person left behind is starting to see how deeply connected they are to you, and by extension, to everyone and everything around them. This awakening often starts with a simple question. Why? Why did it take losing you to realize your value? Why couldn't they see it before? Why does it hurt so much now that you're gone? These questions are like doors opening in their mind, leading them to deeper and deeper realizations. They start to understand that love isn't just a feeling, it's a way of seeing the world. When they loved you, and yes, they're realizing now just how much they loved you, they were seeing the world differently. Everything was a little brighter, a little more beautiful. And now that you're gone, they're understanding the power of that love-tinted vision. But here's where it gets really interesting. As they're grappling with these big questions about love and loss and value, they start to apply these realizations to other areas of their life. They begin to see how they've been taking other things for granted too. Their family, their friends, their own talents and abilities. It's like dominoes falling. One realization leads to another and another and another. They're not just seeing you differently. They're seeing everything differently. The world suddenly seems more vivid, more alive. Every interaction feels more meaningful. Every moment feels more precious. This is the essence of a spiritual awakening. It's a shift in perspective that changes everything. They're moving from a mindset of scarcity, always wanting more, never feeling like they have enough, to a mindset of abundance, appreciating what they have, seeing the value in every person and every moment. And you know what? This awakening isn't just changing how they see the world, it's changing how they see themselves. They're starting to understand their own value too. They're realizing that just as you are irreplaceable to them, they are irreplaceable to others. This understanding brings a new sense of responsibility, a desire to live up to their own potential and to treat others with the appreciation they deserve. This spiritual awakening is like a ripple in a pond. It starts with the realization of your irreplaceability, but it spreads out, touching every aspect of their life. They're not just missing you anymore. They're growing, changing, becoming more aware and more alive. And here's the beautiful thing. This awakening doesn't depend on whether you come back or not. Of course, they hope you will. But even if you don't, this new awareness, this new way of seeing the world and themselves is a gift. It's a gift that you've given them, even in your absence. So as they go through this spiritual awakening, they're not just longing for the past. They're looking to the future with new eyes. They're asking themselves big questions. How can I live in a way that honors the lessons I've learned? How can I show appreciation for the irreplaceable people in my life? How can I become the kind of person who sees and values the unique beauty in every individual? These questions are the seeds of major life changes. Maybe they'll start expressing their appreciation more often. Maybe they'll pursue that dream they've been putting off. Maybe they'll work on becoming more present, more engaged in each moment. Whatever form it takes, this spiritual awakening is the start of a new chapter in their life. And through it all, they're holding on to the memory of you. Not just as someone they've lost, but as the catalyst for this incredible journey of self-discovery and growth. In a way, you've given them a precious gift. By walking away, you've woken them up to the beauty and value of life, love, and human connection. This spiritual awakening isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning. It's the first step on a new path, a path of greater awareness, deeper appreciation, and more meaningful connections. And no matter where this path leads them, they'll always be grateful to you for showing them the way. Now, let's talk about how this realization, this epiphany about your irreplaceability, doesn't just stay contained within the person you left behind. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread out, touching everything in their path. This is what we call the ripple effect, and it's truly amazing to see. At first, the changes might be small. Maybe they start saying thank you more often to the barista who makes their morning coffee. Or they call their mom just to say, I love you. These might seem like tiny things, but they're the first signs of a big shift happening inside. As time goes on, the ripples get bigger. They start to look at all their relationships differently. That friend they've been taking for granted, they make an effort to reach out and express their appreciation. The coworker who always has their back, they go out of their way to return the favor. It's like they're seeing the world through new eyes, recognizing the unique value in every person they meet. But it doesn't stop there. This new understanding starts to affect their choices, their goals, even their dreams. Maybe they've always wanted to write a book, but never thought they had anything important to say. Now they realize that their unique perspective is valuable. They start writing, pouring their heart onto the pages, sharing their story with the world. Or perhaps they've been stuck in a job they hate, too afraid to make a change. But now, understanding the precious nature of time and the importance of living authentically, they find the courage to pursue their passion. They quit their job, start their own business, or go back to school to study something they love. The ripple effect touches their self-care too. Recognizing their own irreplaceability, they start taking better care of themselves. They eat healthier, exercise more, maybe even start meditating. They realize that they can't pour from an empty cup, so they make sure to fill their own cup first. And here's something really beautiful. As they change, the people around them start to change too. It's like their new way of seeing the world is contagious. Their friends start to open up more, sharing their own fears and dreams. Their family relationships deepen as they express their appreciation more freely. Even strangers seem to respond differently, as if picking up on this new energy of gratitude and authenticity. This ripple effect isn't always easy. Sometimes it means outgrowing old relationships or habits that no longer serve them. It might mean facing fears they've been avoiding for years. But even when it's challenging, it feels right. It feels like they're finally living in alignment with their true self. And through it all, they carry the memory of you. Not as a weight of regret, but as a touchstone of transformation. Your absence has become a presence in their life, a constant reminder of the preciousness of human connection and the importance of never taking anyone for granted. As the ripples of change spread through their life, the person left behind starts to truly embrace the concept of irreplaceability, not just yours, but their own as well. This is a profound shift, one that changes everything about how they see themselves and their place in the world. Think about it. We live in a world that often makes us feel replaceable. We're told there's always someone smarter, prettier, more talented waiting to take our place. But the truth is, each of us is uniquely irreplaceable. And that's what they're finally understanding. They start to look at themselves in the mirror and really see the person looking back. Not just the flaws or the things they want to change, but the unique combination of traits, experiences, and qualities that make them who they are. They begin to appreciate their own quirks and idiosyncrasies, realizing that these are the things that make them special. This self-appreciation doesn't mean they become arrogant or stop trying to improve. Instead, it gives them a solid foundation from which to grow. They start to pursue their passions with more confidence, knowing that their unique perspective adds value to the world. They speak up more in meetings, share their ideas more freely, step into leadership roles they might have shied away from before. But embracing their own irreplaceability also comes with a sense of responsibility. They realize that just as they are irreplaceable to others, others are irreplaceable to them. This leads to a deeper appreciation of the people in their life. They become more present in their interactions, really listening and engaging rather than just going through the motions. They also start to set healthier boundaries. Knowing their own worth, they're less likely to let others treat them poorly or take advantage of them. They start to surround themselves with people who appreciate them for who they are, who see and value their unique qualities. This embrace of irreplaceability extends to how they view the world around them. They start to see the unique beauty in everything. The way the sunlight filters through the leaves, the sound of laughter from a group of friends, the taste of their favorite meal. Everything becomes more precious because they understand that each moment, each experience is irreplaceable. And you know what? As they embrace their own irreplaceability, they find themselves better able to celebrate yours. The pain of your absence is still there, but it's mixed with a deep gratitude for the impact you've had on their life. They understand now that you didn't just leave a hole when you walked away. You left a legacy of growth, self-discovery, and a new way of seeing the world. Now we come to the part where they take all these realizations, all this growth, and start to move forward. This isn't about forgetting you or pretending the pain of your absence doesn't exist. It's about integrating everything they've learned into a new way of living. The first step in moving forward is acceptance. They accept that you walked away. They accept the pain they felt. They accept the growth they've experienced. And most importantly, they accept themselves, flaws, quirks, and all. This acceptance isn't resignation. It's a powerful acknowledgement of reality that allows them to move forward without being weighed down by what-ifs and if-onlys. With this acceptance comes a new sense of purpose. They start to ask themselves big questions. What do I want my life to look like? How can I honor the lessons I've learned? How can I make a positive impact on the world around me? These aren't easy questions to answer, but they approach them with a sense of excitement rather than fear. They start to set new goals for themselves, big and small. Maybe they decide to finally write that book they've been thinking about for years, or perhaps they commit to telling the people in their life how much they appreciate them every day. Whatever their goals, they approach them with a new sense of confidence and determination. This new understanding also changes how they approach relationships. They're more open, more vulnerable, more willing to connect deeply with others. But they're also more discerning. They understand now that not everyone will see their worth, and that's okay. They focus on nurturing relationships with people who appreciate them for who they are. They also find new ways to give back to the world. Understanding their own irreplaceability has given them a deep appreciation for the uniqueness of every individual. This might lead them to volunteer, to mentor others, or simply to practice random acts of kindness in their daily life. They want others to feel seen and valued the way they've learned to see and value themselves. As they move forward, they carry the memory of you with them, not as a burden, but as a gift. You've become a part of their story, a catalyst for growth and change. They might still miss you, still wonder what if, but these thoughts no longer hold them back. Instead, they fuel their determination to live fully, to love deeply, and to never again take anyone, including themselves, for granted. And here's something beautiful. As they embrace this new way of living, they find that joy comes more easily. Yes, there are still challenges and difficult days, but there's also a deep appreciation for the beauty of life, for the preciousness of each moment and each connection. They've learned that happiness isn't about having everything perfect. It's about appreciating what you have, including the growth that comes from difficult experiences. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means learning from it, growing because of it, and using those lessons to create a more meaningful and fulfilling life. They're not the same person they were when you walked away. They're stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more aware of the irreplaceable value of every individual, including themselves. As we come to the end of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible transformation that's taken place. What started as a simple act, you walking away, has turned into a profound journey of self-discovery, growth, and spiritual awakening. The person you left behind has been through a roller coaster of emotions: pain, regret, fear, but also hope, gratitude, and a deep appreciation for the irreplaceable nature of every individual. They've learned to see themselves and the world around them with new eyes, recognizing the unique value that each person brings to the tapestry of life. This journey has taught them that true growth often comes from our most challenging experiences. Your absence created a space for them to really see themselves, to understand their own worth, and to appreciate the irreplaceable nature of every relationship in their life. They've learned that being irreplaceable isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing all the quirks, flaws, and unique qualities that make each of us who we are. It's about recognizing that our value doesn't come from what we do or what we achieve, but from our inherent worth as unique individuals. This realization has rippled out, touching every aspect of their life. They've become more present, more appreciative, more willing to express their feelings and connect deeply with others. They've started pursuing their passions with renewed vigor, understanding that their unique perspective is valuable and worth sharing with the world. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this journey is that it doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Armed with this new understanding, they're moving forward into a life filled with deeper connections, more authentic self-expression, and a profound appreciation for the irreplaceable nature of every moment. And you? You remain an important part of their story, not as someone they've lost, but as the catalyst for this incredible transformation. Your walking away didn't end their story. It started a new chapter, one filled with growth, self-discovery, and a new way of seeing the world. So as we close this chapter, remember this: every person in your life is irreplaceable, including you. Never forget your worth. Never underestimate the impact you can have on others, and never stop appreciating the unique, irreplaceable individuals who make your life richer just by being in it. This journey of realization, of understanding true irreplaceability, is one we can all embark on. We don't have to wait for someone to walk away to appreciate their value. We can start right now, today, by looking at the people in our lives with new eyes, by expressing our appreciation, and by embracing our own irreplaceable nature. In the end, this story isn't just about what someone realized when you walked away. It's about what we can all realize every day if we choose to see the irreplaceable value in ourselves and in every person we meet. It's about living with gratitude, connecting with authenticity, and never taking a single moment or a single person for granted. So go forth with this new understanding. Embrace your irreplaceable nature. Appreciate the irreplaceable individuals in your life. And remember, every step you take, every person you meet, every moment you live is an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the beautiful, irreplaceable tapestry of life.